Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all well today. Got this light on in here. Been moving around. Any better? Yeah, it's better. I knew I shouldn't have a light behind me. Light just goes in front to get a better picture. Hi, was that Haj I saw sneaking in? Haj, very nice to have you on early today. Obviously, guys, we're going to talk about Pep's press conference. That's the big news of the day. A lot of stuff going on. There's other bits and pieces of rubbish about the Harry Kane stuff. We talked briefly about that yesterday. Hi, Prithvi, hope you're well. And wait for a couple of more to come on and I'll get cracking on with the press conference. Hi, Centurions, hope you're well as well. Give you an idea what we're going to talk about. We can obviously talk about Pep, talk about the missing players, about what happened over the Everton game. I think Pep had a go at Everton's statement, but not at Carlo Ancelotti. Gives you a better idea as to what happened and puts us in a slightly better light. Pep talks about circuit break, time for a pause. Obviously, they want to know who's out with COVID, but Pep hasn't said it. We'll talk about that. Talk about the preparation for Chelsea. What else is it? That's about it. It's not a lot. I mean, obviously, we'll get some more news at 10:30 when the embargoed part of the press conference is released. We'll have a bit more idea. Tommy Doyle posted a picture on Instagram of him being in quarantine. Maybe it's Tommy. Maybe Tommy Doyle's one of them. Maybe Tommy Doyle. Maybe some of the kids are, and that's why it affects us less than we originally thought. Hi, Centurions, hope you're well. James Higgins, hope you're well as well, mate. Happy New Year to you all, the formidable Centurions. I don't think I've seen you for a while. Torres doesn't have COVID. It's Queen versus King. Hi, Faris. Well done, you Hammers. The Hammers have won. Yeah, I just saw the end of that 1-0 last time I looked. Hi, Peter. The Kane possible transfer with BS. Well, that's what I said. It's someone from Germany, Falk, who's said it. It ain't happening, guys. Come on. Think about it. Think about it. Why on earth would Kane leave Spurs now? Okay, they slid down the table a bit, but you can see they've got a possibility of doing well, get back in the top, comfortably in the top four, get into Champions League. Mourinho, okay, until he changed his style and went a bit more defensive, they're doing well. So it's boyhood club and everything else. It just looks like he's not going to leave until it's too late for him to win big stuff on a regular basis. He might do Robin van Persie, come to about 30, 31, or whatever, however old he was when he left, and do the same. Edison Wall, Jesus, yes, that's right, Haj. If Tommy Doyle is one of them, then that obviously is no big deal for us. Pep said he won't reveal the players' names who tested positive, then the players positive post. Yeah, that's not good. And part of the thing is, look, especially if it is someone like Tommy Doyle, you don't tell your opponents anything more than they need to know. They can prepare. If you're going to play against Edison, you prepare one way. If you're going to play with Stefan, then you might prepare slightly differently. If you don't know who's missing, maybe you go in there thinking we'll prepare to play City's normal team. If you know that for instance, if you know that Tommy Doyle's got it, then maybe you think, then there's one less person to think about. Yeah, then you can try and narrow it down a little bit. Don't give them any information. So the three players that have got COVID aren't revealed, but on social media, Edison and Doyle announced that they got it. So we have one more player. So that is really poor from City. There's a lot of things going on, but it's poor from City, and it kind of would get out eventually. They'd have found out before the game. Would have found out once the team news was out or something like that, so they can readjust. But don't give people, unless you're Marcelo Bielsa, you don't tell people up front. Fresh it's not consolidated right back, and he's on form, says Haj. Faris says Kane would never leave Spurs. I might leave at the end, if there's another couple of years. But then would we want him at 30 years old? Happy New Year's to you, Ivan. Everton drop points. It's all in our hands, absolutely. Look, all those people who said we wouldn't get top four, it looks like we're in pole position to get top four. If we have Cancelo, then the real problem would be left back with which Ake can play. If not, we've got Ake, Mendy, Zinchenko, Laporte. All of those can play left back. So I'm not so concerned. Tete is a Sterling Pacey or a Torres great at dribbling. I don't know what it's mean there. Queen versus King. Is he a Sterling Pacey or Torres great? I don't know. Everton, they're by default average club. Well, they're there by, look, in an easier season than normal, where they're not, you've not got someone a massive front runner. It's not even, if I remember correctly, not even 2 points a game or something. That's what Liverpool are on, around 2 points a game instead of 2.5 to 3, which is they're on last season. And to get 100 points, you're going to be averaging more than 2.5 points a game. And it's a lot less than that. So, yeah, Everton are there, but they're there on merit. They're there because that's what they're doing. If Cancelo is safe, then is it Torres? Well, if it is Torres, I don't think there's that to worry about. Haaland for sure, yeah. Pep said the 2-3 chance he won't reveal, and then the players reveal it. Says, what will Pep think? Well, it's up to the club. It's up to the club. It's up to have the right communications within the club to tell the players not to say anything. And then it's up to the players. Now, if the club haven't told the players to say nothing, how can you say anything? If the club have told the players not to say anything and they've opened the gobs, that is a problem. We don't know exactly. We assume that Tommy Doyle and Edison have got COVID, and we don't know the last one. Obviously, Walker and Jesus already. We don't know the last one. It might be Torres. We don't know. But look, they'll have it, and that's it. Hopefully, they won't have any lasting effects. 10 days' time, they'll be back training with the lads. Obviously, they're going to miss the Man United game, and they'll be ready for Birmingham, I suspect, at the next weekend. Why don't we know who it is? Edison didn't mind when he told us on social media. Well, Pep said he's not. I think Pep said he's not sure whether they shouldn't do them by Premier League rules. I don't know. You don't need to reveal the names. Obviously, you'll find out when the team news is out and they're not included on the pitch or on the bench, and the questions will be asked, and then you'll say it. I think it's pointless not to reveal unless the players don't want to. But from what we've seen, Edison doesn't mind and Doyle doesn't mind. The players don't mind, but for me, I would have just kept it quiet, leave everybody in the dark, let them know at the same time as everybody else. James says it'd be gutted if Cancelo, obviously for his health, but he's in great form. After the last 3 people tested positive, City posted pictures of Cancelo and Rodri in their cars, so maybe Cancelo was negative unless the pictures were from before. That's the problem. You need a time and a date stamp. I hope that Edison will be fit enough to play Chelsea. No, but I don't know to get me the sounds of it. He's got COVID. Has he said so? It wasn't Pep that didn't want to reveal the club. The Premier League didn't want to. Even my team, Stefan Ake, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, De Bruyne, Rodri, Fernandinho, Sterling, Torres, Aguero. For me, Chelsea are in a bit of bad form. Got to go there, obviously, looking to win the game. Because what's the point of having these games in hand if you're not going to win them? Winning that game propels us back up right into the mix. Again, even if Liverpool win, we've still got those 2 games now, but we've got to win. And if you end up losing or drawing, Liverpool pulling the 2 points clear, them drawing against West Brom and Newcastle are for nothing if we don't win our games. Tries won't be as big as was Cancelo, says Haj. Absolutely. Walker and Jesus back for United. It's tight, Haj. The 10 days. The 10 days is up, I think, 1 day or 2 days before the United game. I think it's 1 day. So technically they're available unless they had no symptoms and then they show symptoms during the 10 days isolation. Then you've got to start the 10 days self-isolation from when you show symptoms. So that is an issue. But assuming there's no issues, then you get there and you've got 1 day. And you're assuming there's, it's only 10 days that self-isolation. You're assuming there's no long COVID or, I think Ilkay Gundogan said, he struggled a little bit afterwards. Other players have struggled. So you're assuming that there's none of those issues, and then that they've kept fit whilst they've been away and that they're ready to go. We don't know. I mean, 10 or 12 days without training properly is a problem. Aguero has to start for me. He has to beat Faris. If they were considering him to start in the game against Who do we beat? No, I forgot. Newcastle. They were considering him to start the game against Newcastle. We are now a week later, so I think he should start. Dolly's one of the 5. It looks that way. He posted on Instagram that he's in quarantine. If Torres has COVID, that means he will struggle in the next 2 games as Mahrez will get a shirt. Might happen. I kind of want Mahrez to play against Chelsea. He has been on the bench for quite some time. Mahrez doesn't have to play. It can be Bernardo, absolutely. Stefan's time to shine. I hope he doesn't have to. I hope he just has an easy game. It looks like Stefan will start. Then he will have to put in a shift in the game. From what I know, Ikram, the 5 are Walker, Jesus, Edison and Doyle, plus 1 other. Bonsoir, Aaron. How you doing, buddy? Those Portuguese speakers can't keep their distance. Well, there was a rumour that, I said Gabriel Jesus, but it was Gabriel, the Arsenal player, but we don't even know if that's true. But it just so happened that the Portuguese speakers are the ones caught up in it. I'd rather lose Torres. I missed that. Then Cancelo, we need to keep our backline solid, says Ivan. Liam is not getting a chance, Ivan. It's going to be Aguero. Fernandinho is my first man on the team sheet for Chelsea. Absolutely harsh. You can see a field team of first choice players against Chelsea United. Yeah, but I looked at it. We've got 16 fit players and 2 guys, who are coming back from injury in terms of Garcia, who doesn't want to be there, and Aguero from our first team squad. United City look strong. Look like the strong position for the titles, stronger than United. Liverpool look weak. Liverpool are top of the table, so I'm not going to call them weak when they're top of the table. Pep said we're missing 5 crucial players. Would Dolby included? Does it even be? The squad is, but that could just easily be that they want to hide who's out. Guerrero starting to know where we're going to start against Chelsea without recognised strikers. Says Ikram. Premier League is there for the taking. Absolutely. I'm going to rip my hair off if Werner scores. He's been 10 games without a goal. Paris, 10 games without a goal, Werner. We can play the same team as we did against Newcastle, minus Edison and Torres. Right, guys, let's do this very quickly. I'll read out what Pep said in his press conference. Obviously, the missing players, City have 5 players missing. Pep said it was 2 players the first time, and then 3 more. I think it was 4, as in 2 players and 2 staff. The first time and then 3 more. I don't think the Premier League allow us to name the players, but you will know tomorrow. We had enough players to play against Everton. We wanted to play, but on the day of the game, with more cases, we informed the Premier League, and I personally called Carlo Ancelotti to explain the situation because the day before, we were in touch about what would happen and the huge risk. People are dying all around the world. Unfortunately, the problem is still here, but now the training centre is disinfected, and hopefully the next tests everyone is negative, and the people that are positive can come back without problems. Everton's decision, obviously, Pep, there's a lot of talk about that. Pep said, I prefer the statement from Carlo Ancelotti than the statement from the club. We would love to have played against Everton. Hopefully, when we go to Goodison, Dina, Richarlison, Allen, James can play, and we will beat them. We would have loved to play this game, but wisely, the Premier League decided for the welfare of everyone not to increase the cases. Is it time for a break? A time for a circuit break or a pause? Pep said, we will follow what the Premier League says. They are doing an incredible job and have been since the first lockdown. But it is unfortunate what happened with Newcastle. I spoke with Steve Bruce and he explained how difficult it was. More than 20 people infected, and it can happen to any club in the Premier League. On BBC News yesterday, the situation everywhere is dramatic. 1,000 deaths in a day. We have to be careful. We are delighted to play games and do our job, but at the same time, we cannot ignore the reality that the virus is here and we don't know exactly when you can get it. We have to be careful wearing masks and social distancing. Talking about the prep for Chelsea, Pep said you're less in touch. The players are not in the locker room anymore. They just train on the pitch. It is what it is. We have a good enough squad to go there and try to compete against a tough opponent in Chelsea. We are going there to play our game with enthusiasm and goodwill to try and do a good performance. Now, obviously, again, they asked him about the missing players. And he said the Premier League told us not to. We have to respect the privacy of the players, maybe. Tomorrow you will see the lineups and 3 important players not there, so you will know exactly. But I'm not allowed to tell you. And that was it. That was it. Seeing if there's anything else that was said, but I can't. I mean, some stuff from Lampard. And obviously, there's the UEFA Champions League. I think there's the youth Youth League, which, if I'm right, they didn't play any of those games. Normally you play them on the same date as the Champions League games, but that didn't happen. And I think they're just going to have 64 teams, if I'm right. So you've got the 32 clubs that are in the Champions League group stages, and they're joined by the 32 domestic youth champions from the highest ranked associations whose senior side did not compete in the Champions League group stage. So they're going to take part in a domestic. The two parts will run separately for the rounds of 64 and 32 before merging for the round of 16 onwards. So by the looks of it, if I'm right, so you've got the teams that were in the Champions League and they've got the teams that, in effect, the next best, and then they'll play a couple of rounds. It looks like it's just going to be straight knockout, I think, and then they'll merge. So the round of 64 and round of 32 pairings are to win by means of an open draw. They might do some. It's still a bit up in the air. I'm just looking to see, but that's it. There's no other news on the press conference. I'm just having a quick look to see if there's any little bit extra. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti's done the right thing. He's sent a message to Man City over the COVID cases, as I said, a little bit more respectful than Everton's message, which didn't even talk about the players. I'll quickly tell you what Ancelotti said. Let's just try and dig it out. So he sent his best wishes to City, anyone at City affected by coronavirus, 4 days after the postponement of the game. Now, the club statement was not great because Everton wanted full disclosure of the information that Man City provided to the Premier League, so the club can be clear on why this decision was taken. Now, Ancelotti indicated on Thursday that they had not received information when quizzed in his press conference, but he said he's spoken on behalf of the club to wish everyone at City well. He said, "We had an unexpected rest when our match with Man City on Monday was postponed. From me and everybody at Everton, we send our best wishes to Man City. I hope everybody at the club who is affected by coronavirus can fully recover as quickly as possible. It is another reminder that we are still living with this virus and nobody is immune. We all need to continue following the advice and protocols and stay vigilant." So at least he had a little bit more class, I would say, than Everton. I know Everton are unhappy for everything and they want to play and all that. But it is what it is. And it's actually, I think, worse for us because their players are coming back, like James, like Digne, like Alan, like Richarlison. They'll, all have a chance to be back. And we'll have a ton of games. So we might play them after they've had a week's rest. And we've had two or 3 days rest. So I think it's better for them. Let's quickly go through your comments. Try and catch up. We had major injuries. David Moyes has come out and said, look, when I had COVID and 2 players had COVID, we still played. Why is City getting special treatment? Start the season, we had 3 players out with COVID, Laporte, Maris and İlkay Gündoğan. We had 3 players out with COVID, but we still played. We had 2 players out for the game against Newcastle, but we still played. 2 players. So West Ham had 2 players and a coach and a manager. But we had 3 players. We're not getting special treatment. Moyes is an idiot for. Unfortunately, too many people open their mouth without knowing what's going on, without knowing enough about what they're going to talk about. We saw that with Mourinho. We saw that with Klopp about the CAS, Court of Arbitration for Sport, their judgment against City. Okay, we saw with them with the Open the Gobs. They didn't know what they were talking about. Pretty ignorant. And you've got Moyes, same thing. It's so stupid. Looking for a bit of sympathy. He said, we don't complain, but as soon as you do that, you're complaining. I know it. Yeah, let's have a look. I'm going to try and keep up, guys. James and Ziyech rules out, says Ikram. We can rip through Chelsea, but you've got to be careful because, look, they've still got good players. And until three or 4 games ago, they were right up at the top of the league. Kyle Walker, no, Abdallah, that was, I've looked at that. So I've seen some reports. That was just looks like another made-up story that everybody jumped on, and now they're retracting from. But the damage has been done. The sewer rag newspaper, gutter press, they jump onto any story, put it out there, and then they have to, when it's disproven, then they, slink off and be quiet about it. It's a lot of rubbish. What's going on? There was talk that Sancho flew in for this as well. And then I don't know if Germany is still banning people from the UK going back. So if Sancho flew in, how could he go back? It's just crazy. When you think about it, it just sounds rubbish. Hi, Akash, hope you're well. 80 to 85 points would be enough to win the title this season. 80 sounds right at the level. Harry Kane to City, 100 million. No, it's not true, Haj. As I said, he's not going anywhere. So the back forward with the same as last time. Ake, Stones, and Diaz and Cancelo, where Cancelo goes forward and Stones, Diaz and Ake from a back three. Maybe Laporte can get a game. I agree, Faris. With Fernandinho play, Cancelo can go more forward. I agree again, Hard. Wow, you guys on the button tonight. Doesn't matter now more than anything, big chance to hammer them. Absolutely. Question is King Kun is ready, Ivan. He was ready. They were umming and ahhing about him for the Newcastle game. He's ready for tomorrow. Just when we thought that we kept everyone fit after all these games, suddenly COVID comes and ruins everything. It is, we've always had problems with fitness, injury, and COVID. Yeah, look, we are up there, Peter. I don't have the same confidence. Absolutely right, Price. Look, but still, you got to give them respect. They had won 4 games on the bounce against, including Arsenal, Chelsea, and Leicester, and then letting 1 goal in those 4 games. Got to give them respect. Absolutely formidable Centurions. You got to stay away from each other. Media's too so delusional, says Faris. Oh, I missed that. Media is so delusional, thinking that we're faking this. We decided to not play. They say that we don't play it, so we drop points because of the cases. No. The thing is, if we'd missed 3 games, it could have been possible we could have missed 3 or 4 games, because of this. Who's getting hurt the most? It's City, because we will end up playing games every 2 days. Everton, yeah, Andrew, we know Walker's missing, obviously, and Jesus, and apparently Tommy Doyle and Edison have said on social media that they're in self-isolation or quarantine, whatever they've called it. So it looks like those 4. We don't know who the 5th one is. Everton are thick clubs, is Aaron. I just think they're angry. That's it. Look, it wasn't a big. If truth be told, Aaron, it wasn't a big deal. Their statement, really, for me, it wasn't a big deal. But there's nothing else to talk about, and people have got to be outraged. City fans are outraged at Everton's statement, and Everton fans are outraged at City for what's gone on. And, City fans are outraged at Everton fans for what they're saying, and Everton fans are outraged at what City fans are saying. And to be honest, there's nothing there. It seems that every club in Liverpool is toxic. Not that really, Faris, but I just think that, as they're doing well, they want to throw their own weight about, They'll look from their side, describing the bigger picture and the potential consequences. Absolutely. If we'd gone ahead with the game, and 4 or 5 Everton players had gone down with it, and then they had games cancelled or postponed, people would be calling for them to be docked points. Would they have enjoyed it? What would they have done if they had games postponed and they ended up losing points? They'd have come back and played City, blamed City. So behave. David Moyes is a football genius. Is there? Well, look, they're doing well in the league at West Ham. Marino's criticised the postponement of the following game throughout. What else? Nothing else can be done. When you've got so many players out, you've got to follow the rules. Andrew, what we know at the moment is Jesus, Walker, Edison, and Doyle, and one that we don't know. Happy New Year, Spencer Mark. Hope you're well. Happy New Year to Ikram. If you ask me, if the extra one was Rodri, I'd be jumping on the table right now. Just on the stream, why? Your opinion on the Kane? What would you mind him in the City Premier League? Yeah. Look, his price wouldn't be 100 million. He's a Spurs man through and through. Right now, they've had a decent start to the season. They dropped off a little bit, but they're still up there. They look like they might have had a chance to win something under Mourinho. Looks like they might spend a bit of money. Obviously Gareth Bale, and they bought a few players, and it looks like they could do something. Why would he leave? I say at least for a couple of seasons, unless Mourinho drags him down, unless he starts struggling and he thinks, like Van Persie, I'm not going to win anything, I need to leave. I can't see him leaving for at least 2-3 years. Beyond what you're giving, we need Kun to score goals. Pep said in his interview, I've deleted it now, but basically Pep talked about obviously the players that are out. He didn't mention them. He said the Premier League don't allow us to, maybe for privacy of the players. So the Premier League don't allow us to talk about who is out. But obviously, if a players are going to put it on social media, then we're going to find out. He talked a little bit about the Chelsea game. Talked about the Everton statement. Talked about what Carlo Ancelotti said. Talked about a little bit about training, and that was it. Hi, Alexandros. Hopefully, Villa do the job. To be honest, Haj, everything's in our own hands. We just got to keep doing what we do. Looks like Carson's getting on the bench. Could well be. He'll be on Ultra Gaming. Remember the 6-0 or 6-0 2 seasons ago? It was February, I'm sure, in 2019. Because I had Mike Long from Bolt from the Blue. He was over from South Korea, and he went to that game with us against Chelsea. Obviously, if you follow my Twitter feed, you see loads of pictures of him with people like, with some of the old City stars. Like I think he was with probably Colin Bell, Tony Buck. Definitely, I remember that picture. I forgot his name now. He's with. Was it the drummer? I forgot his name now, from New Order. Anyway, so he had a good time. Then he went to the Carabao Cup final against, can't remember, was it Arsenal that season? So he had a great week in Manchester and 10 days, whatever. So great. But I do remember that game. That got the most views because we absolutely smashed Chelsea on the channel. It was every video was getting like 6,000 views, which is like, we had at that stage a few thousand subscribers. To get 6,000 views, it's like you're on fire. Just going to quickly, I'm not reading them all, guys. I'm just trying to catch up. What a game maker, absolutely. Thanks, Alec. Cheers, mate. Mr. Tapping, second screamer 2 minutes later. Yeah, we scored. We could have beat them a lot more than 6. What day did training resume? The day after we called the game off against Everton. I think it was the next day or the day after that. I think Kane could be a game being played by Pep that he's telling. Yeah, there's that as well, that we don't need Erling, and we don't. I would not complain if we got Kane. Wouldn't complain if we got Haaland. Obviously, Haaland's got several years on Kane. It does make a difference, but you can argue, however you want Kane. He's done the business for so long here. Haaland, he will do the business. I don't think there's any worry that he isn't good enough. Peter says, I don't normally wish anything bad on anyone, but if Mahrez is a player we don't know of yet, then we have a chance in the next 2 games of winning them. Yeah, Haji ain't coming. Kane's not coming. No, Chelsea. Get well soon, Mahrez, but not too soon, says Peter. Dozen games in and it's a crazy season already. No one knows who's going to win the title, says Alec. Yeah, look, it is absolutely crazy. I know the United game's going to start in a minute or 2 or 3 minutes. I know you guys might want to watch that, so we might zip off in a minute. But I'm just going to have a quick look at the table just to see how that Everton result has changed things. I forgot to change my fantasy team, so I'm a bit gutted. Well, I will find out. I have Salah as captain, and I don't want him as captain. I wanted to change that to Harry Kane, but we'll see. So West Ham, they're on same points as City. They're in 10th. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 clubs on 26 points. It's crazy. If you notice that Barcelona, they're struggling, obviously, in La Liga. Messi can leave it or do a pre-contract. It's interesting. Will he go to PSG? Will he go to City? Will he stay at Barca? Will he go to the MLS? It's too soon to go to MLS. I think that would be regrettable. But Barcelona, I think right now they're 10 points off Atletico, and Atletico have got 2 games in hand as well. at least 1 or 2 games in hand. Barcelona, they're going to struggle to win La Liga. All they've really got left is the Champions League. Villa versus United. You can't knock Villa. They're 4 points behind United. They've got a game in hand over United. I mean, for me, 1-1 draw, I take that. Take that all day long, a 1-1 draw. Fernandes for United, simply because he's my kid's. I think he's my kid's captain in his fantasy team. So if Fernandes scores, it's good for my kid. Who's doing really well. I think he's up to second or third. He was up to second in his fantasy league, considering he missed the first week. But he's had a bit of luck recently. Let's get ready to wind down then. 85 points. From 90, I think 90 is difficult because Liverpool, that you're asking Liverpool to win almost all the games. I don't know how many points Liverpool can get to. Let's say they can get to 98 or something. You'd have to win every game to get there. And the way they're playing, I can see them dropping more than 8 points. So I think 80 might win it, 80 to 85 max. Do you think no fans is affecting teams, says Alec? Yeah, something's up. Something's up. I've Zoom my fantasy team forgot to take him out. Me as well, Haj. Zoom. I knew it was the thing is, I had half an hour and then I got called away and had to do something and it was too late. And I was waiting for the City press conference because I thought if it's KDB's out, KDB's in my team, I could take KDB out because he's so expensive. I could get 2 good players in, but it's too late now. My predicted Faris, I'd go if everybody's available. Cancelo at right back, Mendy at left back, or Ake, I don't know who I'd take. Whoever's the best defender. Stones and Diaz and Stefan in goal. Fernandinho and Rodri as DMs. KDB is attacking. Aguero up top. Sterling I want him on the left. Oh, sorry, on the right. That won't happen. I can see it being Mahrez, Sterling, and Aguero. You got to remember, if you're asking me which players aren't affected, probably I'd say Laporte isn't affected. Probably I'd say that Gundogan isn't affected, and Mahrez, because they've already had it. And if we're right that you can't have it again, then those players will be available. So some players who are available. West Ham have played 17 games, Carl. We've got 3 games in hand over them. Daka would be great, absolutely. Alaba and Daka would that would just be amazing if we can get them. We don't need them now. But I would like Pats and Daka now. But if we could get Alaba and Daka now, that would be incredible. Incredible. Kaz, how you doing, buddy? Surely Aguero can shoot the stall last half season. Yeah, he's missed so much. There's a lot to catch up. So let's hope he can start doing it. And guys, anybody new to our channel, it'd be fantastic if you could support us simply by subscribing and hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. And guys, I've got 22 people watching. I should really have 22 ticks. I'd like to have 26 at least by now. So give us a thumbs up, guys. Bring back Luis as well after Ferner will leave. I'm hoping Fernandinho gets an extension from Formidable Centurions. Faris, look, there's lots of things going on. Madrid are supposed to be trying to buy Mbappe. Now, if you honestly ask me, can Madrid afford Mbappe paying a transfer fee and his wages and paying Alaba's £400,000 a week wages? The Spanish clubs are cutting the wage bill. What was it? Barcelona cut a few. Was it 75 million or 175 million off the wage bill? Some of the players took, was it 25% wage cuts? So if they're doing that, how can you go out and spend big money on new players and pay them big money? A new player's coming to your club. If Alaba wants 400,000 a week, do you think because the other players at Madrid are maybe on 25% less than their contracts state, that he's going to say that if Madrid say, well, because of everything, we're going to have to pay you 250, do you think he's going to go there? The money is important to him. The money is important. So that is a big issue. Can Madrid afford him? It's all talked up. But if the next, this COVID thing is not going to allow fans at grounds for at least 3 months, I reckon. We could be looking at 3 months. Could be 2-3 months, maybe 6 months for the rest of the season. And the same in Spain. They're not doing great over there. So they're not going to get a lot of money that way. If the next La Liga TV deal is smaller than the current one, then they're going to be missing out money there as well. So it's a huge problem for them. Where's the money going to come from? You know, you've already lost money in the last season and this season. So where's the money going to come from that's going to pay to get them back to spending the way they were? I just can't see it. So Alaba, if you are honestly, if COVID carries on into next season as well, if it's affected, then there's fewer and fewer clubs who can spend the money. PSG, City, obviously Chelsea, but fewer clubs can spend the big money. Barcelona couldn't. So we have a chance. Daka would be a class act, says beyond Rodrigo, and I agree. His pace is phenomenal. Oh yeah, Haj, he works really hard. He's a team player. He's got the right ethic when we're trying to... And if you think, you know, he'll have the right ethic to close players down. If we're lucky enough to get Haaland, Daka, KDB, one or two others closing down, maybe we get that back. We know Pep is going to go play Rodri, and Fernandinho has had to play his different gravy. Absolutely, Haj. Why do these players want to go? Because the thing is, Kyle, that's how they grew up. You know, Madrid have won, was it 12 Champions Leagues? That's how they grew up. You grew up with Madrid being the name. And from South America, it's Barcelona and Madrid. Real Madrid have that cachet. Peter reckons no fans on the ground still next season. The formidable Centurions debatable, but I get you. Sell Mendy, Mahrez, Zinchenko and Garcia. Well, I think Garcia's gone. We know that. Zinchenko hopefully will go. Mahrez and Mendy, I have no arguments. Who's your player of the season in the Prem so far? And then in RT, it's hard to say. It's got to be Bruno Fernandes, man. It's better than KDB now, Bruno Fernandes. From City, Cancelo. Cancelo and Stones of the three top players at City. Cancelo, Stones and Diaz. Cancelo, Stones and Diaz. They've shone the most for me. KDB's got the 7 assists, but he's not shone. Not for me. I would love us to play with two strikers when we are able to do so for a game. So as got a lot of goals last time we did it. I wouldn't mind a Gundogan Fernandinho double pivot. I prefer that to Rodri and anybody. Mr. Roll-Up, you know, people always say it's easy La Liga, but still good enough. Cancelo, Stones, Walker and Diaz for Faris. Who would have thought our best players would be our defence? Gundogan as well. Yeah, he slips under the radar, Gundogan, considering he started the season with COVID. So he's done well. He's done well to be where he is. As I get ready to sign off, guys, as I said, if you are new to the channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe simply by hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. And give us a thumbs up, guys. So obviously United playing without Cavani. It's only 3 minutes into the game. United have had a lot more passes and possession. Martinez has made a save already. Martinez is my keeper for my fantasy team, so I hope that he can keep a clean sheet. That would be awesome for my fantasy team. The big one of games, Cancelo isn't proven as of yet. Mods come off. Yeah, formidable situations. He's only played. I was looking at Stones' numbers. Stones has played only 6 times in the league. Played obviously in the Champions League as well, but 6 times in the league, 5 clean sheets, and letting 1 goal. 5 wins and a draw. That's cracking return. Diaz has played 12 times in the Premier League, 6 clean sheets, only 6 goals against, but only 6 wins. There's a lot of draws in there. Just been scoring a lot of set-piece goals. Lately, Zuma has like 4. Got to watch out for him. Scheduled tomorrow, Cranwell. We got a game. We got a game tomorrow night. Well, he's not. No, we haven't got a game tomorrow. The game's the day after. Tomorrow, I'm going to record. It's 5 o'clock your time. I'm recording the Chelsea preview. I've got at least 2 people on that. I had 4 people. I'm just checking. I had 4 people put the names down for that. I'm just checking if I've got. Please send this message. For somebody, because I just need him not to think I'm not interested. But I've got 3 people lined up. I'm not going to tell you who they are. I'll tell you a bit about them. I've got somebody who's actually based in California. Okay. I've been on the blue ticks, guys. I've been on the blue ticks. I've got, I'm not going to tell you who he is, but he's an editor and a director. He's a producer of documentaries, and he's a Chelsea fan. And he lives on the west coast of America. I've also got, I'm going to be careful what I tell you about these people. I've got an actor who he's in the London production of The Lion King. Okay, so I've got him as well. Still trying to, I've got two other people lined up. Okay, I've got some guy who puts himself down as a diplomat. He's a licensed coach. I'm hoping he comes on. He hasn't confirmed yet. And I have somebody else who I've been trying to get on. Somebody else, and it's not confirmed yet. Now, this other person works on BBC Radio 1. Okay? So I'm not going to say too much about who that is, but works on, I don't think a DJ, but works on one of the shows on Radio 1. So I'm not going to give any, but I haven't got that one confirmed. So I've got two people on, just waiting for the third one. So that's so that's going to be interesting. Worst three. Wow, that's a tough one. Laporte. You'll love me for saying that. Rodri, because I say it doesn't bring anything to the team. And Mahrez. There you go. I'm not even thinking about it. Chelsea would be dangerous, absolutely, Faris. Mine would be Rodri, Sterling, and then KDB. I forgot about Sterling as well. Ake's been decent in the air. He's got one goal. Rodri hasn't been exactly the player we all hope for, says from Middle Century. I agree. He's different, but I think we should give him more time. The actor hasn't played 007 in the 80s. I say, no, Peter. I've got to be careful what I say. I don't want people to guess who this is. The actor's, I think, is more of a stage actor. Rodri's 23, Fernandinho's 35. Rodri was, look, Fernandinho was in the Formidable season, that he was 32. Not the Formidables, the Centurions, he was 32. Formidables, he was 33. Last season, he was 34, and now he's 35. He's not just disappeared. Kyle, he's not played because when he has played, he's been poor. Well, I'm picking him up on that goal against Arsenal. Right, guys, I think that's it. You know, I know some of you want to watch the footy. It's 8 minutes in. Just reading the stats, it's not great. Aston Villa have won just 3 of their Premier League games against Man United out of 50. 50 Premier League games. That's in 1995 and 2009. Wow, it's a long time. But we are 8 minutes in. United are threatening. But United have got 66% possession. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm reluctant to watch the game just simply because United they bore you for about 88 minutes and then they score. Since you don't have 8 years to wait, either make it or break it this season for Middle Centurions. Right, guys. Thanks for coming on. As I said, anyone new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out, and give us a thumbs up. We'll catch you tomorrow. I'll probably do a live stream in the evening, and hopefully I will do the video for the Everton preview and get that out before we do the live stream. Look after yourselves, guys.